Loud Guys. Today we are going to react to the whole documentary Problem with Apu. And the thing is, like, we were watching a lot around Apu, and we were like, everybody was talking about how the problem with Apu was the big problem, and this documentary was causing all the issues, and that is why the Apu's character was removed from the show. So that were the things that were revolving around. So I was thought, we both thought, like, why shouldn't we go for it and watch the whole documentary? Because we both are Indians, we can understand, okay, what is racist about with Apu and not, and how it might hurt those sentiments, and what it is like highlighted in this documentary that made sure that everybody like was so angry with it, and in the end, like, Simpsons had to remove Apu's character. So that was the impact of this documentary. So we both are excited to see, like, and also we are also, I think, a good judge. We can easily judge it, like, how good this documentary is, because we are also Indians, and we can, like, relate to all part of it or not. So let's watch this documentary.
Yes, even we can, we see a lot even in India that even if there is little thing about anything, any religion in any movie, the people will go like, okay, ban this movie, just ban this movie, and will not let that movie go blockbuster even if it deserves to. So yes, we have seen Apu character how it is, and we know that kind of it make kind of offend someone. So yes, that's why he is banned from Simpsons, and now we are going to watch the full documentary about it, that what is the whole reason, or why people took this type of big decision, and are there any chances that he can be back to the Simpsons? Like, I don't think so, but yes, let's watch it out.
Yes, and also if you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe our channel and become a member by joining the Patreon link in the description box below. So let's watch the video.
I was doing this show in Brooklyn, the first Brooklyn. This kid comes up to me and he's like, "Hey man, I think you're really funny. That's a big deal coming from me. I don't usually find ethnic comedy funny." Why would you say that to my face? You could have tweeted that? Why are you hurting me in real time? Why is this happening right now? What does ethnic comedy mean? It's not like my whole act is, hey, brown people look like this. Hold up, white people, they look like that. But I'll take your laughs nonetheless.
Thank you for coming in.
Oh, that's a racist Apu joke in Denver. Boulder just went up another notch. I know you from high school, even though I don't. You're the reason I do comedy, sir. You're the reason I thought to myself, nobody like us exists except this cartoon character. I'm gonna show up, and I'm gonna be the best comic in the country, and I'm gonna make less than I deserve in Denver. Hey, my name is Hari Kundabolu, and I'm a stand-up comic in Brooklyn, New York. I'm the son of two immigrants from India who, despite me being a stand-up comic, are still alive. I've had a great career filled with laughter, critical acclaim, and me shaking the hands of many famous white men on television. I should be completely happy, but there's still one man who haunts me. Apu Nahasapima Petalon.
Serving the customer is merriment enough for me. Think you'll come again.
Hey, Ganesha, want a peanut?
Please do not offer my god a peanut. You stealing squishies? Please pay for your purchases and get out and come again. Oh, well, let's sell it anyway. Now this is just between me and you.
The problem with Apu.
I publicly declared my war on Apu in 2012.
We've had an amazing run the last few years with more Indians in the public eye than ever before. There's like 14 of us now. There's now enough Indian people where I don't need to like you just because you're Indian. Yeah. This all started because you asked me to do a piece on your old television show, Totally Biased, when I used to write for it. You said, if you don't do this, I will fire you. And Apu, a cartoon character voiced by Hank Azaria, a white guy.
That is the main issue.
A white guy doing an impression of a white guy making fun of my father. Yeah. Or I'd imagine kicking the out of him. Now, I realize some of you think I'm some annoying PC social justice warrior
Yeah.
that's very sensitive and is obsessed with a 28-year-old cartoon character.
Yeah.
You're probably thinking, come on, Snowflake, let it go.
Yes.
Well, I have let it go. For 28 years.
No, but if you let it go, then you let it go. There is not like a
Look,
timeline
man,
to let it go.
I don't hate The Simpsons. And yes, I know Apu is one of the smartest characters on The Simpsons. Granted, the bar isn't very high. But that's not why people liked him.
And because of that, I dislike The Simpsons.
Wow, the whole series.
Yeah.
The whole series?
Yeah.
I love The Simpsons. I just don't love that character. The whole
I have
thing.
never been able to divorce the two.
I love The Simpsons because
You hate yourself.
I completely this whole film is me trying to get over the fact I hate myself. How many of you were bullied in any capacity as a child?
We raising hands?
Yeah, raising hands. We'll do the hands thing.
Everybody is some or the other way.
Okay, now how many had to deal with like being called a poo or that being referenced?
I'm driving
Oh
with my
my
dad as a
God.
little kid, and someone goes like, "Bing, bing." They say like, "Oh, hey, I need," and then they're doing like the Indian voice, like, "Hey, I need to get another Slurpee. Can you tell me where the Quickie Mart is? Thank you. Come again." And they drive off.
And I think I know someone who might be able to help us.
Oh, the voice
The
actor.
voice, yes.
Like they will go directly to him.
1989 was a
listen
big year. The Berlin Wall fell. Billy Joel claimed he didn't start a fire. What do you love about The Simpsons?
Probably its humor. It's pretty unique.
Simpsons is very big in America.
About humanity, I think, but in a funny aspect.
And, you know, America went through a time when The Simpsons owned America. I remember when that was appointment television, where if you didn't see The Simpsons on Sunday, you couldn't have a conversation on Monday with some people. So,
Edgy at the time.
yeah.
And that dude that's in the Apu documentary, no politicians or reporters, and no whatever Deepak Chopra is. This is all we had. Apu reflected how America viewed us. Servile,
The only
Devious.
representation, that was the problem.
goofy.
is showing mainstream America what an Indian is.
Right.
And it's a pot-bellied dude who can't speak English, is an idiot, basically.
So where did this walking stereotype come from? I mean, other than the gates of hell.
I read somewhere that Apu, they originally did not want to make him an Indian convenience store. Really? I would immediately begin to talk this way, and I was like, it's not tremendously accurate. It's a little stereotype. Like, it's all right.
35 cents, please. And I got this giant laugh, and suddenly Apu was an Indian.
Oh my God.
35 cents, please. Man, that is some brilliant comedy, right?
That is not right, man.
So what I do know for sure is that a white dude created a stereotypical Indian voice, and a bunch of white writers in a room laughed at said stereotypical Indian voice, and this led to the creation of my childhood bully and a walking insult to my parents.
I mean, there comes a time in a man's life when he asks himself, who will float my corpse down the Ganges?
So that's you guys.
Today you look like Apu today somehow.
No, that's not funny. Why do I look like a poo today?
Hair, I think.
The hair.
Apu hair.
I don't have Apu hair.
Hey, Apu hair.
When you see that character, do either of you identify with that character in any way?
No. They paid him, he did it. And he did it good.
Why do you think you tolerate this kind of stuff more than we would?
First of all, we came.
Apu after
I don't think
the
so.
trilogy, the Apu trilogy by Satyajit Ray, and I would highly recommend
That's
this
so
series
unfair.
of movies. Fantastic landmarks in world cinema.
A young boy named Apu, who we follow over the course of 3 films. You see in the course of his life, both a young man grow up and actually deepen, but also you see the modernization of India. His story is the story of a multi-dimensional human being who grows living through pain and tragedy and beauty. And to have that name then be associated with the Apu of the convenience store, of course, is such a huge diminishment.
Like the name Apu came from here.
I was feeling hopeful I could get Hank to speak to me, especially since he had spoken about this once before in a Huffington Post article from 2013 entitled, "Is It Time to Retire Apu?" by Malika Rao. When you spoke to Hank Azaria,
But
Did you do Apu over the phone?
He did briefly. He talked about how the voice is very musical. He did the accent. He mentioned you. Well, he didn't know your name, but he said that there was an Indian comic who he'd seen a video of, who just went off on Apu.
Had he not thought about it until he saw my bit?
Right, he hadn't.
So for like 20, at that point,
yeah.
maybe like 21, 22 years, he'd not thought about it.
Sometimes you don't realize what you're doing.
Thought about it
Till the time someone stops you.
Oh, look, it is Mr. Homer, my favorite customer. Please feel free to paw through my play dudes and tell me to go back to some country I am not actually from.
He sort of does the stand-in work for a lot of different kinds of issues related to immigration and race. If there was an episode that was on marriage, Apu, of course, had to have the arranged marriage.
Then it is agreed. Your third daughter will marry our first son.
If there was an episode on having children, then Apu had to have 8 children.
Yeah.
What? Stereotypes have a long half-life. That's strange in the slightest to you.
But getting an honest story into the mainstream is incredibly difficult.
Good morning, Krishnamurtis. It's Wednesday, or hump day according to Jizzy and the Wiz on 102.7 The Octopus. Rancho Cucamonga's Ekdam #1 All 80s rock station.
This is a father-son story. This is really about how you dealt with these two cultures, this Indian household that you were living in and this American culture that you are now a part of. That's all I had to say, because I was the only one in the room that could say that. And I looked around the room and I'm like, what are we getting into? How are we making an Indian show right now? Like, how are we together? How is this going to work? And from that moment, I'm like,
They are making an Indian show and
There's
only
this
one Indian
idea that, okay, well, if there's 4 white people, anybody will watch it. That's mainstream, that's accessible.
Right.
But if it's for Asian people or for black people, it becomes like, oh, this is a black show or this is a black movie. Who's in it? You know, we watch animated movies that are about fish.
What bothered me most about Apu was the way he stood in for my parents, replacing their real stories, their real struggles, and their really complicated lives with a accent.
My dad was an English major, so his...
my dad didn't know baseball, he knew cricket. So he would teach us how to play cricket. So we're trying to swing a bat like a golf club.
Telling the pitcher to bounce the ball.
Yeah, and look back and I realized it was only because it was out of love. He wanted to spend time with his son. That's why he did it.
Racist depictions of minority groups is as American as racism.
There
From
is a lot of
advertising to
racism
political
over there,
cartoons
looks
to
like.
vaudeville to...
Meet me at the zoo in the morning at 9 o'clock.
Oh, no.
With the rest of the monkeys.
Yeah, I'll bring my grandpa with me.
Dear God, I decided I needed to talk to an expert on the matter.
Began when white people decided they wanted to be able to do the cakewalk because there were not black folks on stage. So white people dressed as black people and put on the blackface.
I wanted to ask you about your collection of Black Americana. You have a very large personal
I call it Negrobilia.
to mock black people.
I don't even think it was that deep. I
Really?
Yeah. I have this thing from the Coon Chicken Inn. That was the name of a restaurant. I don't think they were thinking, oh, we're going to get them now. I think they were like, that's funny.
What else is in the collection?
One of my favorite is a German postcard. There's a little white girl, a little white boy in the bed, and this other little black face is in the middle. And she says to him, lick him and see if he's chocolate. If you've never seen black people, what? We look chocolate. No. No.
Not at all.
No. Because when you deal with ignorance, how can you be pissed off? They don't know any better. They're trying to make a living. They're making cookie jars.
But Hank isn't ignorant. He knows there's a problem with Apu, yet he still does this.
Remember, please, children, that in life, there is nothing that is not so disgusting that it cannot be sold on a heated roller at a nearly criminal markup.
I would say so, but he's not singing and dancing, is he?
Reach the quickie mark. Now here's the tricky part. Oh, won't you rhyme with me?
Yeah, there's.
Okay, then he's in the minstrel show. If he's singing and dancing, he's in.
He has all the
He
qualifications.
has all the qualifications.
Okay, so it's a forward from his publicist. Hank wanted me to pass this article on to you. And it's the same HuffPo article that
Yeah,
me
sure.
and Apu was quoted in like 3 years ago. So he's basically saying that he doesn't want to do the film and he's not going to talk about it anymore.
You okay?
No, I'm fine.
You sure?
No, I'm okay. I'm fine.
You won't be able to get him.
Yeah.
We'll give him a beat and we'll figure out next steps.
I don't know which part of that sentence to correct first.
There's a guy the year after Harold and Kumar came out. I was walking down the street. He was kind of drunk. He stumbled out of a bar.
Indians to
Indian guy, and he
shoot.
goes, "Hey, I get called Kumar all the time because of you." And I just looked at him. I was like, "It's better than Apu."
Yeah, right.
And he goes, "Yeah."
Can you name any other like famous Indian Americans?
There was, but he wasn't even East Indian. It was the actor from Johnny Five.
He's not Indian.
Is that a yes or the number to your intelligence quotient?
But he wasn't even East Indian.
No, Fisher Stevens. I found out he wasn't Indian 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you never had the feeling.
Sailed monkey breath.
No.
None.
Let me think before I actually answer that question. I'm so used to doing these interviews where that's what you're supposed to say.
Or you let somebody else do it. It begs the question, is it better to be clowned or to clown yourself?
I had a bread and butter role that I did for years, which was the weeping ethnic mom of potential rapists or murderers. It is a mother's duty to protect her son.
I was playing Ahmed, the foreign exchange student.
96, 97 is all just literally cabby, deli. Doctor.
One of the first movies I did was a movie called Van Wilder with Ryan Reynolds, and I played an Indian exchange student. And I remember very clearly getting a phone call from my agent at the time, and she said, "Hey, I've got this audition for you. It's a supporting lead in a movie." She goes, "Okay, the character's name is Taj Mahal."
I'm Taj Mahal.
And I hung up the phone.
This is racist,
And
man.
she calls me back. She's like, "I knew you were going to do that." I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, I didn't major in theater and film.
The guy happens to be an Indian guy. If I take the part, I accept the responsibility of lending the character more dignity than what's written there, and to be able to challenge the director and the creatives, and hopefully not be fired.
Well, despite only being said 8 times over the entire course of The Simpsons history, "Thank you, come again" has haunted Indian children for over a quarter century.
Only 8
Why?
times.
It's funny because it's racist.
This could take a while, folks. Thank you. Come again.
How would you define patanking if you were to explain what that means?
Patanking is being asked to speak in a broad Indian accent with broad acting.
They want the accent to sound like this and they want your tongue to be really pulled back.
So patanking was going into a room and having to do that exact thing in front of people like a monkey.
This
Oh
voice
my
has caused
God.
so much trouble. So how did Hank come up with it?
When I first moved to LA, most of the 7-Eleven guys were Indian or Pakistani. Then also Peter Sellers in The Party, one of my favorite performances ever. You know, I've since learned that a lot of Southern Asian people, a lot of Indians found that Peter Sellers' portrayal fairly offensive.
No. What, did you get Inspector Clouseau to help you solve that mystery? Inspector Clouseau is Peter Sellers. How different is a South Asian actor patanking versus like Hank Azaria doing that voice?
Because it's South.
How did you find out it was a white guy that did the voice?
I don't know. I think like after a long time, I definitely assumed he was Indian.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, I'm making a movie about how much I dislike it.
Finding out just now that it was a white guy is kind of, that makes me a little bit uncomfortable for sure.
I don't know whether, because people like imitate him, and I don't know whether it makes it more or less racist to imitate a white guy pretending to be Indian.
Actually,
Does that make
right.
sense?
I will tell you, it makes me equally uncomfortable.
The bottom line
Nice
was
answer.
always what's funnier. Our job is to write a comedy. The fact is, sober Barney, not funny.
Right.
The aspects of our personality that we're maybe not so proud of.
What was Apu's flaw?
I wouldn't say he was flawed, but he was a first-generation immigrant with all of with the trappings.
But I mean, could you say that a lot of the stuff that Apu says wouldn't hit as hard without the accent.
Yeah, well, there are accents that, by their nature, to
I always loved stand-up comedy as a kid. Like, it was like magic to me. Well, I knew that I wanted to do that, except I was 17 and didn't have a complicated life. What I did have was the fact that I was Indian.
Oh, you got that from India. Oh, you got me. I have a chicken tikka in my backpack. They're up my belly. I'll give you 3 wishes, yeah. Come on.
Convenience stores, and it was awful. And I probably did that for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and then 9/11 happened.
And after that, everything would have
The world was
changed.
falling apart, and I felt more like a minority than ever before. So why was I on stage doing crappy impressions of my parents? I was minimizing them the same way America always had. My comedy had to shift from the way people saw me towards the way I wanted to be seen. Every year you see people, like white people wearing blackface. It's not just white people, it's also some people of color that have chosen their sides.
I would go to the Comedy Zone. I love the Comedy Zone. I'd see all these comics, and they'd put my friends in the front row because we were brown people. At first, we thought it was great, and then we realized they're just going to pick on us. The whole
story. It's just not. It's too complicated, you know. I don't think Hank Azaria thought about it probably that much. It was just a funny character, one among many that he did.
I mean, that's part of comedy, too. I mean, I think that's a lot of people who feel that way. It's not just him. I'm not going after him. I'm going after all the people that laughed and feel the same way. How do I address that point?
That's why representation is important. I mean, this is a big discussion, and
I don't want this
It's in your self-interest to have him in the documentary, and it's in his self-interest to not be in it.
Yeah, actually.
It all just seemed so hopeless. But then I got an email from Hank saying he might be willing to talk.
Oh!
What am I gonna tell him? Just stop doing the voice? I need some creative solutions for this mess.
Yeah.
I don't know what the solution is to tweak it. I don't know if you can tweak it.
Like, there's
Well, he can't win with you.
Right.
There was an episode where
He
he
can't
just
win
drops
with
the accent. He was like, no, I'm serious. And then he was like, it was all just an elaborate ruse.
Hey, bro, come in and chillax.
No, I'm not the only one who's tried to.
Oh, yeah. When I watched it.
Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, The Simpsons wins. I wanted to win.
You're my uncle, bro, and I love you, but you're a stereotype, man. Take a penny, leave a penny. I'm Indian. I do yoga. Why don't you go back to the Temple of Doom, Dr. Jones?
He leaves.
That's a spicy accusation.
You pipe it down.
And it's like The Simpsons, the show, being like, stop complaining. We do this to everyone.
Oh.
Okay, so The Simpsons gave us a less
I
than
am very much
satisfying answer
confused.
to this
I don't
approval.
have an opinion at this moment.
And now Hank had an opportunity to change this. Hey, Harry, thanks for sending me those clips. The film looks really interesting and thought-provoking. I'm glad you're making it.
And?
Having said that,
Oh,
it's
this
not good.
Not good.
Okay. Having said that, it's not something I can participate in.
Oh, no.
I'm not comfortable, 1, speaking on behalf of the whole show, 2, throwing myself upon the mercy of your edit. That's great that he gets to choose how he wants to be portrayed. What a privilege. He gets to choose how he is viewed by other people. There has been undeniable progress for South Asian American representation over the last decade. I mean, Aziz has a show. Mindy has a show. I certainly deserve a show. However, we still have room to grow considering I know almost every South Asian American in the media. And half of them are in this film.
And now a different group of Indians is taking it back.
Wow.
South Asians will come up to me all the time and be like, I'm so glad that you're there on that show just by virtue of the way you look and the stories that you get to talk about and your perspective. You know, I said to Jon Stewart when I got the job, I was like,
You love your grandfather. He's been there your whole life and has taught you so many valuable things. But he still does racist stuff regularly. So if he can't change, maybe it's time he dies. And you can just remember the best things about him. been through in this country, right? People saying things like, take that dot off your head.
Now, after watching the whole documentary, I am a bit confused. Like, I don't know, because like previously we saw all these videos of Apu, and I was completely like, I am having fun with it, and like we both were having fun with Apu, and like the way they are making jokes about it, and I was not so much annoyed or felt anything racist about it. But now, after watching all these, after watching this documentary, like this documentary was made to like make sure that you realize all these things, and these are the some things like all the Indian Americans are feeling. So like we Indians living in India cannot feel the same, because they are facing those, like getting bullied, and they are like facing all
Just
those
because
problems.
of a cartoon character.
Yeah, because they are again say like thank you, come again. Like if even if you guys have heard us, like we talk like this, and we don't talk like, oh, it was nice talking to you, and this is how we talk. I don't think anybody in India talks like this, because everybody, like they might have some of the other accents, like in South India there might be like, okay, this is happening. There is some accent, but not the same as Apu. I have not seen anybody talk like that. So, but that can't be racist. But yeah, the thing is, like, if you want to make fun, and like the producer was saying, like, if you want to have fun, you have to make jokes on some or the other thing. So that is also a case, and this is also a case that they feel absurd by it, and they feel hurt by it, and now they have won, and Apu has gone. So somewhere down the line, I don't like it, but I don't know. I am not able to choose sides.
Of
What
course,
about you?
it's a bad thing that people over there, Indian Americans, get to face a lot just because of a cartoon character. Like, I don't think so that this cartoon was made to hurt someone, hurt Indians. I don't think so, but it does this thing to hurt people, and to bully other people. And yes, even if people are facing really bad things just out of a cartoon character, so that should be banned, I think. And you after seeing this documentary, you see it both ways, on the positive side also and on the negative side also. Like, up till now we were just like, okay, we are watching, it's just a cartoon, so just okay, chill with it. But now we got to know that, okay, people over there are facing problems because of this. So yes, it has negative sides, and that, like, solution has to be done, solution has to be made out of for this. So yes, and in the end, even Hari concluded that it's like, you have a grandfather and he is racist, so you kind of like it also because he's your grandfather, and you kind of against him also because he's doing and telling all the racism things which you don't like, because yes, you are not like that, you are kind of educated, so you think open-mindedly and not narrow-mindedly. So yes, you kind of also love your grandfather, but you cannot support him always. So that's what this cartoon was about, that you cannot support him always. Of course, there are negative sides of things, and if it is hurting people's sentiments, then something should be done, and that's why it got banned also. So yeah, even now I am like, okay, it got banned, so because of something good.
And also the thing is, like, the main point here in this video was like they do not have the problem with Apu only. The main problem was the Apu was the only Indian representation. That was the main issue. Like they said, like, okay, they are also making fun of the Italians, making fun of the French people and all the other guys also. But the thing is, there are more representation of them, and due to which, like, people know, okay, these are also like French people, these are also French people, so they can like differentiate. But for Indians, they only have Apu and the accent there is, and thank you, come again, and all these things are just the most irritating thing for all the Indians. Like that question, very like all the like 5 to 6 people were there in that room, and he asked them like, how many of you have been called Apu, and everybody raised their hand. So everybody has been called Apu. So that was the impact, and like they were showing that Simpsons was the biggest show at that point of time.
This shows that how just an animated series can change everything, and how people face the things over there.
Like, but the thing is, this happens everywhere. Like in India too, like we make fun of Nepali people, and all these people. Like this happens in everywhere. So I think so. Like to make fun, people go and try to like cross certain boundaries, and like people from the other side try to push them also, because they want to make sure that their privacy and like their integrity stupidity is also taken place into. So I don't know, I have an opinion about it, but I feel somewhat sad like Apu has gone from The Simpsons, because I think so the damage has been done. Like now it could have been cured, and it could have been like made sure, like he could have made in a he could have been made more funny in a different way, but like completely killing him was not a great option, I think so. What do you guys think about it? I would definitely like to know in the comment section below. So do like, share and
Subscribe to our channel.
Bye.
Bye.